Welcome everyone to Coffee with the Kingpins once more. I don't know what number of episodes we haven't been numbering our episodes, but once again, thank you for joining us. And if you're interested in any esoteric subject, self-help subjects, astrology, especially Vedic astrology, especially anything to do with compatibility astrology, you are in the right place. And you can always check us on Rumble and YouTube. And if you have any suggestions, please share it with us so I can bring you those interviews. So I'm very excited today to introduce a good friend who is here with us from India, and he will be sharing his wisdom as far as Vedic astrology. And especially today, he's going to tell us what he's going to share with us and how it relates to compatibility. So, Abijit Shukla, welcome to Coffee with the Kingpins. I have my cup of coffee. Where is yours?
Here's mine. Thank God I had. Rose, hi, how are you? Thank you so much for inviting me here and giving me this opportunity to share what I think on, how compatibility and transits converge, what happens when they converge.
Yeah.
And it's always pleasure to talk to you and share and learn from you and share my knowledge with you. So I'm here and you tell me how do we begin because I have a few points to make, which are
Absolutely. Make your points. And also, before we start, why don't you share what are the transits that are going on right now?
currently this is the sidereal zodiac, the Vedic chart that we're talking right now. The
Yes.
current chart that I'm looking at is based on the local time here. And right now, as we speak, Sun has just entered. Yesterday, Sun entered into Leo, which is its own sign,
Mm.
and Mercury is direct in, it was retrograde, but recently it came back direct and it is in the sign of Cancer. Mars is in Virgo, Jupiter and Venus. This is interesting. They are together in the sign of Gemini, and which is where you have your moon. So, voila. And Moon is in Rohini, so what better day we could find to discuss compatibility, love, and relationships and transits? Because Moon itself is in Rohini, which is all about love.
Yeah.
And as the legend says, Moon is so much in love with this nakshatra because they say that all these nakshatras are basically the wives of the Moon, and Moon stays in Rohini for the longest because Moon loves Rohini the most. And so this wife of the Moon spends most time with, and that's why Moon and Rohini takes a longer time to complete, when it starts and ends. So we are in Rohini Nakshatra today. And for me, right now, Saturn is retrograde. It's in the sign of Pisces. Rahu and Ketu are in the axis of Aquarius. Rahu and Ketu in Leo, along with the Sun. So there are so many topics that open up just by looking at the transits, but that we can just go on and on because Sun Ketu together, coming together, that has a meaning. Venus and Jupiter together means love will, people will fix issues in love overall. So this is not about your chart or my chart, but overall uh, issues with love will be fixed. And the other thing is that because Venus is with the Guru, with Jupiter, it'll give good effects. If the similar Venus, when there'll be a time, couple of months later, uh, or I don't know, in next 40, 50 days, when Venus will be along with Ketu. And that's the time when people will find it difficult. That is one transit which overall kind of breaks love and corrects. And so there is spirituality that kicks into love. There are breakups because people don't, Venus doesn't give the vibes as the new the vibrations, as they say. Venus doesn't send you those vibes which can make you feel lovey-dovey. It's more about cutting off and doing the right thing rather than just following your desires. So it's, in a way, it's a good thing because you do the right thing to do. You focus on um, spirituality and the duties that you have in your life. But yes, for love overall, it's not a great theme. Similarly,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but would you say with Venus K2, like relationships that um, had broken off or were having problems, it will help bring things to light with that Venus K2 conjunction?
I wouldn't say it will bring them to light. More so, it's more about chopping things off. It's more about leaving things beside, feeling, having emotions. Since Ketu is in the picture here, bringing things to light is not much. There is not much of illumination with Ketu. It's more a hidden feel. It's more of this feeling that is inside,
Right.
and one would just feel that they're not. Maybe the partner is not doing enough, and this is the time to, maybe call it off or give it some. Let's take a break. Those kind of things. And since we're talking about it, and let me just tell you the exact time, and your viewers can also, so that they know that what period we're talking about, because I need to move the chart a little bit to find out when Venus and Ketu are coming together. And I think that is happening. So yeah, around the first week of October, one could say they will start feeling this thing around between 5th of October 2025 to almost um, 5th to 8th, or maybe say 4th to 8th of October 2025 this year. So that's a period when sorry, yeah.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, so that's a period when you actually will see, and it's not a thing about you or me or one person or her or him. This is overall. This is how that's the Venetian effect on people overall.
Right.
So you won't see a lot of love on people's minds during that period, and that will have an effect on their personal lives as well. They'll be like, listen, hey, darling, do you want to catch up for a cup of coffee? And no, I'll talk to you later. I have things to do. That kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But isn't that the period that Jupiter enters Cancer, where it's the sign of its exaltation? So it really is happy there.
Yes, so that happens around 18th of October. Jupiter enters into Cancer, and where am I? Yeah. So 18th of October, Jupiter enters into Cancer. But this is just a very 40-day period.
Right.
Jupiter is going to be exalted. So overall, yes, there's going to be niceness in the world. But let me tell you, this is just until 5th of December when Jupiter goes back again. It gets retrograde, and then it goes back again into the sign of
Gemini.
Gemini. And so, in an even sign, any planet with lesser degrees is a very old kind of, it's a dead kind of planet. It doesn't gain a lot of momentum in
Right.
terms of its strength. So I wouldn't, for people who are going to have very important transit, Jupiter transit on their moon or ascendant, or very important points on their chart, wherever Cancer is. And if they're waiting for that period, they will get a glimpse of what's going to happen when Jupiter touches their that certain part on the chart, but the actual effect will come later in the middle of 2026 when Jupiter actually crosses in for good for now,
Right.
until it circles the entire zodiac and comes back again after 12 years. So yes, talking about transits. So yeah, that's my little understanding of on a mundane level, what happens. And similarly, I'm sorry, let me just finish this one thing that similarly, when Venus and Rahu come together in
Mhm.
the sky,
Right.
that gives an opposite effect. There's just too much of Venetian, people are just trying to get, they just have love on their mind.
Right.
And it's not just love, but it's also emotions, shopping, luxury, getting involved or splurging money on themselves, perfumes, luxury items, and things like that. One
Mhm.
could see that we could also kind of take, we can also kind of say that during the Venus Ketu thing, dates of these 4 or 5 dates when they're going to be on top of each other, it'll be very interesting to see. I don't have any research, much research in that area, but it will be very interesting to see how the markets, the stock markets, the crypto, how that performs during that period. Because it's a period where it's not about the growth, it's about chopping luxury off from your minds, basically. Why am I using this word chopping all the time? Because Ketu is that cutting off.
Yeah.
Wherever Ketu sits on a chart, you cut off from that thing. You don't want to do it. Ketu in the seventh house is the worst because of all the placements, because for relationships at least,
Yeah.
that Ketu in the seventh, this person doesn't want relationships. And they are always dissatisfied with their spouses, and they have issues with spouses, those kind of things. Obviously, there are a lot of other things that people should not just look at one thing, but there are aspects, and there are, the dispositor of this Ketu, wherever that is sitting, and the relationship with Jupiter of that seventh house, and the Mahadasha, and so on and so forth.
So speak a little bit about Saturn retrograde because Saturn is a faraway planet and being retrograde, it's going to be retrograde for a long period. So when
Yeah.
will Saturn go direct?
Saturn will go direct around November. Just give me a sec. Saturn is going, sorry, December. So 1 week behind. And so Saturn goes direct on 27th or 28th of November.
Of
And
2026,
2025, the
2020.
same.
Mhm.
Saturn generally remains retrograde anytime between 4 to 6 months, depending on what sign it is in.
Right.
But Saturn's retrogression is very interesting because Saturn is basically contraction. Saturn controls. Saturn slows things down. And whenever Saturn, is retrograde, Saturn behaves in a different way. It's like you're in a classroom and the teacher is facing you, and you're quiet, sitting properly, and not doing any mischief. The moment she turns her back towards the board and writes something, then you can just, talk to the person next to you, and you can throw something at someone, and whatever uh, mischief you want to do, you do it that time. So Saturn, when Saturn's retrograde, it's like teacher turning towards the board, and you can do whatever you want because she is not going to punish.
Right.
And same way, Saturn, whenever it's a retrograde, you also see markets doing well
Mhm.
because Saturn is not in its actual kind of position to control things. It's behaving in a different way. It's like a bad guy, and I'm sorry for calling Saturn a bad guy, but this is just an analogy.
Old guy.
The old guy, who's very disciplined, let's put it that way, is all of a sudden kind of okay with the woke culture. Someone who is otherwise very against the whole woke thing. So yeah, that's what Saturn generally does when it's retrograde. And Saturn also, since we're talking about Saturn, um, as far as relationships are concerned, Saturn, I have noticed that whenever someone is having Saturn return, which is called the Sadhe Sati. Now, this is just to explain in a very short, simple way that everyone must be knowing this, but people who don't know this, Sadhe Sati is a Saturn transit over your moon. So it's basically one sign before your moon. I'll use the same chart over here. So for people who are Aquarians, who have moon in Aquarius, uh, for people who have moon in Pisces, and for people who have moon in Aries. These are the people currently for whom the Sadhasati is going on. So
Hmm.
what happens is that whenever Saturn would, um, for example, someone has moon over here in Pisces, whenever Saturn would come to the sign of Aquarius, they would have Sadhasati. When Saturn is here, they will have the second phase of Sadhasati. So the first phase, the second phase, and the third phase of Saraswati will be when the Saturn is transiting Aries. And since what is 365 days for me is basically 30 years for Saturn because it's far behind, away from the sun, astronomically. So Saturn takes 30 years to complete one revolution around the sun. So now all you have to do is divide 30 years into 12 signs. So it's 2.5 years in each sign.
Right.
And so that's why Sadhasati, that's how Sadhasati comes into play. And Sadhasati I've seen has a very peculiar, um, um, you know, effect on people because generally people who are married will find relationship issues during Saturn transit over their moon. And to just simplify it, I would say because moon is our mind, and whenever Saturn transits our mind, we just look at everything in a very negative way.
But it also
Same,
kind of depresses one. It brings you down. Yeah.
absolutely. You're right. It brings you down, it depresses you. The same partner that you thought was very beautiful for you, a lovely person, and very warm and affectionate, you start finding issues with them, you quarrel with them. And it's more so because the spouse would live with you. You spend most time with them. And whatever is going around in the world with you in particular, because you go out, your boss is upset with you, you're not able to focus on work, maybe you lose your job, maybe you change jobs and you're not comfortable, maybe you change city. So what happens is that your all your frustrations would then kind of come out in front of his spouse, and she would or he would also kind of reciprocate with the same language. I mean, if I'm going to yell at my wife, I don't expect her to just be quiet. She'll say, "What's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
And then it just goes on, the argument and egos and all that. So, Sarasati, especially Saturn transit over your moon, is not good for relationships. I've seen a lot of divorces, and I have enough data to. I mean, I can't share charts and information, but I have enough data from my clients that they just call me and tell me I have this issue with my wife or issue with my husband. I want to speak to you. And I tell them, are you this and this sign? Because I know they must be under the Sadhasati, Saturn's radar. And 90 times out of 100, it's true.
Right.
And for those other 10 times, it's their spouses who are running that period. So
Would you say though for so this is the interesting subject. So people who get their charts done or chart reading annually, that is something that helps a person because if you are aware that, in 3 months you're going to start where Saturn is going to aspect your moon or get conjunct your moon, it actually gives you the ability and also maybe knowledge or wisdom to really focus on, well, I might be feeling down. Well, like it might be a period that, it would bother me if my husband, leaves the toothpaste top off and I'm going to be cool about it. And I think one of the good remedies for that kind of period is either to decide with your partner to maybe, budget, or maybe possibly really get into deep conversations of what can we do to make things better.
Yeah, true. You're right. Absolutely right.
Right.
That's it. And you know, I am of a belief that there should be people should learn astrology a little bit and just learn the transits of, one should know their chart and
Right.
one should know what's happening when, and all this information is available. I mean, if you are not really into astrology, if that's not the culture you come from, then you can seek an astrologer's help. There's
Right.
Firoze, there's me, there are so many others out there. We
Right.
can help you. But you should know what are the critical points on your chart and wherever all these planets, the good ones and the bad ones, whenever they are going to transit or have drishti, which is
Right.
an aspect.
Right.
And
So
and make use of that.
it's also interesting, and I want to bring that up. There are people who are born with Saturn either conjuncting their moon, meaning like close to their moon, or aspecting their moon. And they always kind of have, well, first of all, they are people who self-sacrifice. So, like, they don't look for their wishes, they always give to others. But also, they're kind of people who kind of have like they look at the glass half full as half empty as the part. I can't talk. I did have my coffee, half empty as opposed to half full. And, they don't really kind of stand up for their own. They give, and they always also feel dissatisfied that they're not getting enough. So that's something, again, which would be good if someone, is aware of their chart, then they can knowingly work on that aspect to make
Yeah,
things better.
true.
So, Abhijit,
Um,
can I ask you if you
yeah.
could maybe go through like each ascendant with the transit and give a little of, overall what's happening, like what is happening right now for Aries, what's happening right now for, you know,
Yeah. So we'll start with Aries. So what is going on with? Let me just bring the ascendant. Let me bring Aries on the ascendant. Okay. So with for Aries, and Feroze, this is with respect to just relationships or overall, like a gist of.
overall, but also we're going to include relationships as well.
All right. So for Aries ascendant people, and now when I say ascendant, I also mean for people who have moon in Aries, because see, there is always this discussion everywhere that how do you see transits from ascendant or from moon? I personally think that it should be seen from both.
Right.
Um, from your ascendant, a transit will play out in a way of how things happen around you. And from the moon, a transit is more about how you feel about it.
And I
So,
wanted to just interrupt and specify that Abhijit is looking at a Vedic chart, so we do use sidereal, um, and the sidereal is always 24 degrees behind Western astrology. So, in other words, if you are an Aries ascendant, depending on the degree, that basically means that you could be, a Pisces ascendant in Western astrology.
yes, so this is basically, do you, yeah, but okay. So let me just finish the thing that I was saying and then I'll come back to
Right.
Aries. Is that um, about 80 times out of 100 or 8 times out of 10 times, And as a transit gives you more meaningful results or understanding of how things are going to go around you from your moon. So it's better if you take your moon sign and then base your and see transits from your moon. Because if I mean, imagine I have a great car standing out, someone gifts me a car. Now, how is what is that? What does that car mean to me? Am I really happy about it? Am I burdened by that gift? Do I really feel that they are buying me this gift for so and so agenda? Am I worried that will I be able to take care of it? Sir, though there are so many other different feelings I could have for that car. Did I need it? Do I have a better car already? And why have they given this to me? So it all depends on how we feel about a certain thing. So um, for Aries, ascendant or moon, um, Saturn, especially for Aries moon, Saturn is kind of in the 12th sign from your own sign, and that's when is the Sadhe Sati begins. This is a period when you start feeling a little itchy with the work that you're doing, the place where you're living, the partner that you're living with. You start facing some issues with respect to, asking that question to yourself: Am I going in the right direction in this life? Is this the time to change something? All of a sudden, the increment that I wanted has not happened. All of a sudden, the salary structure doesn't look interesting to me. I want to change. I want to start a new business. You would just borrow some you might just borrow some amount from somewhere to buy a new house, car, or whatever, or for that fancy vacation. And then those kind of things. Saturn also brings in debt. You come under debt, so people borrow money during Saturn period. And one very interesting thing with Saturn, Sadhisati, is that it your materialistic growth keeps happening. So it's not that you become poor or you lose money. But the thing is, Saturn will waste money. Saturn will get you to waste money and then teach you a lesson that this is the wrong way of, you shouldn't have done this. Your mom, she would not allow you to waste money. She would just tell you beforehand, listen, darling, don't do it. This is expensive. We can't afford it. Plan for it and all that. But Saturn's like, oh, go ahead. Yeah, please spend money. And then once you spend it, it then tries to teach you a lesson, and then you're worried about how do I pay it off and things like that. So for them, that's the thing about Saturn. They have Jupiter and Venus third from their moon or slash ascendant. This is a great period for communication, for starting new businesses, starting new ventures, starting some activity which is about your physicality. So, for example, you wanted to go to the gym. This is a very good period. You would have actually gathered all information that is required for you to, how much exercise do I need? And I'm using this exercise and gym as an analogy, but this is for everything, for every kind of endeavor that one can take up. Is that you have all the information of how much you need it, where's the gym, how much is the fee, let's do it. So this is the time of just doing it. This is also a great time for communication, because this is a great time to propose. This is a great time to, um, tell your boss that you need a raise, you need a transfer, or whatever, whatever information you want to basically, whatever great things you want to ask for. This is a good time for you because third house is communication, and third house is also your endeavors, which is called parakram in Sanskrit.
Courage.
Courage, yes, courage. And Mercury is in the fourth. So Mercury will, this is a time when you focus on your home, you fix things at home, you think about, you start thinking about, should I expand? Am I living in a smaller house? Am I in a bigger house? Maybe I can curtail, maybe I can expand. Do I need to fix this wall, that crack, this, that? This is also a time to introspect and think about your own feelings, and maybe self-communication, like addressing to your own needs. So this is a good time to um, read about emotions and read about, because fourth house is deep emotions, the fourth house is mother and fourth house is homes, and there's so many other things. But yes, Mercury in the fourth is about thinking about issues or stuff related to the fourth house. So this is a good time to call your mother and ask her if she's doing well, and her well-being over the year or next month or 6 months, or how she's going to be planning things for her, that those kind of things. And coming to Sun and Ketu, so this is a very tricky place. Fifth house is the house of all love, romance, happiness, those kind of things. Sun and Ketu over here just giving too much of heat. So there is just too much of heat here. So this is a time for them to kind of just keep quiet and not really, be very active in romance. They can probably just be very patient with their partners and especially children, because fifth house is also your children. So just be patient with them. Don't be irritated and don't yell at them. That can have a negative impact on them. Mars in the sixth, again, this is a great time to undertake, to align with your duties. Kind of, your duties, and so this is a good time to fulfill your duties. This is a good time to take care of your pets. This is a good time to take care of legal documentation that is pending, because wherever Mars goes, your energy goes. And sixth house is your enemies, the government, the law and order, pets, and those kind of things. The poor people, who need help. So whenever Mars goes there, you tend to spend energies towards them. So, and Rahu in the 11th is all about fulfilling your dreams, gains, and and increasing your social circle. That's what Aries does. And when we look at Taurus, for Taurus, the same Jupiter Venus combination comes to the second house. And during this is a period when you get close to your family, when you plan trips with your family. This is a good time to start correcting how you eat and what you eat. We all have some or the other disorder going on. This is not good for us, that is not good for us. Even after knowing, most of us kind of still eat or drink things that are not good for us. This is a good time to correct that, and just do the right thing. This is also a good time to mend your issues with extended family, and this is also a great time for your bank balance to create assets and gain wealth and park, maybe book profit and park your wealth somewhere in some asset or something. Mercury in the third, this is a good time to communicate with the siblings. And this is a good time to start thinking about how and what should be done to improve your communication, or what exactly do you need to do? How will you get there in terms of what needs to be done on a physical level? Like if you want to lose weight, how will you do it? If you want to travel, this is also, third house is also short distance travel. So this is a good time to start planning about those kind of things, in things that you might undertake in near future. Sun and Ketu in the fourth is for Taurus. This is again, um, this is not good for inner peace. It's a great thing for spirituality. So if you turn to spirituality during this period, especially until I'm sorry, until the middle of September, because that's when Sun will cross over into Virgo. But until then, this is a period where you can turn towards spirituality, because otherwise it's going to be a little, it's going to be very, there's going to be a lot of heat inside you. So there'll be a lot of anger. People
Wouldn't you
could,
say that it's a good time if you're interested to start learning something esoteric, spiritual?
it's a good time to learn something. Yes, that's right. That's one way of putting it. But this would have been great when Sun would have gone into Scorpio and Ketu was there. Then this would have been absolutely what you were saying. But yes, when I say spirituality, it's not just practicing, but also, trying to approach methods of how to get there, how to get more spiritual. So, and this is also a great time to um, take care of your digestion, because fourth house is your, abdomen and upper abdomen, and it's a good time to because you know, because a lot of heat will always give you things like pitta, acidity,
Mm.
and heartburn, and those kind of things. So this is a good time to kind of just slow down and just watch what you're eating. Mars in the uh, Mars in the fifth house is again your energies are going towards your children, and your energies are also going towards entertainment. You're thinking about romance, entertainment, those kind of things that can make you happy. And same way, Rahu in the 10th is this is good for them because they are um, it's a time for them when they get rewarded for the hard work they are putting in at work, when they get a promotion, and this could be monetary or by or a raise in or a better designation or better pay. But this is a time for recognition. So for people who have moon or ascendant in Taurus, this is a good period. And when I say this, Rahu is going to kind of change its signs sometime in the latter half of next year. So uh, this is a good time for you to kind of work hard on your career, and it opportunities will come to you. It's about you choosing the right kind of opportunities. Saturn in the 11th is okay. It's nice. It's a harmless Saturn. Yes, it will allow. It's not going to let you expand your social circles, but it's one can say that your social circle, you might be inclined towards meeting more um, s- um, disciplined people, seniors, disciplined people, doctors, people who are researchers, those kind of people who are sincere in their work, who are slow but steady. So those kind of people come into contact. So that's for Taurus. And when we move to Gemini, this is a great period for them because both benefics, Jupiter and Venus, are right on their moon or ascendant. This is a period for them to both look to expand their uh, uh, you know relationships, careers, wealth, health, everything, and also expand also especially in with respect to relationships. Sorry, this is a period where they can reach out to the right person, or the person people coming to them right now will be absolutely the right kind of people for them. This is one indication from the universe that you are in the right place at the right time. You know how we look for that right time to be in love or to meet someone. So this is that period. And Venus is kind of running out of Gemini pretty soon. So
Hurry up.
I hurry up. I mean, if you've not called him or her, call them back. And same way for them, Mercury in the second will give the similar effect of, thinking about money. Wherever Mercury sits, you think about that. So for these people, they are thinking about money, family, how do I increase wealth? Also thinking about improving what they eat, because second house is your mouth and how you eat. Also planning your surgeries. Sun and Ketu in the third is this is good. You will there'll be a kind of push and pull. Sun will illuminate the that what needs to be done, what is right for you, what actions need to be taken, and Ketu will kind of restrict that. And but this is a good, at least what Sun is doing, it is giving you a very spiritual um, illumination of what is good for you and what needs to be done. So you will get spiritual people coming to you, telling you what needs to be done. You will make little journeys here and there, which will be spiritual in nature, going to ashrams, temples, churches, mosques, those kind of things. Mars in the fourth. Mars in the fourth is spending time with your home, fixing things at home, a little argument with your mother here and there, or Mars. See, so this whole fixing thing with Mars only comes when Mars breaks something, because Mars is also heat. So when Mars goes to your fourth house, there will be some things that will break, on a physical level, like your, I don't know, your fridge, your refrigerator, or your microwave. Something stops working, and you need to focus on that, and you need to get that rectified. Things like that. Mars in the fourth is also um, it gives you the same kind of effect that Sun and Ketu in fourth would do, because it gives you a little heartburn, right? And it gives you little pitta happening. So please be careful of what you eat, and spices, and eat more fiber rather than eating more refined sugars and those kind of things. Saturn in the 10th is good, steady growth. And you're more serious about your work. Saturn will make you work harder, even if you don't like it, but eventually it's going to give you returns. Um, and Saturn in the 10th also means that there could be lesser raise than what you've expected, but you can be sure of one thing, that Saturn will keep you busy enough to so that you're working. It's not going to make you jobless, or looking for looking for a new job. It will make you continue in the same one.
Right.
So, and Moon, again, yeah, Moon pretty much changes every now and then. So yeah, it's just 2.5 days of transit. So yeah, the main transits for any Rashi are Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Rahu, Ketu. I'm sorry, Jupiter, Saturn, Rahu, Ketu, because Venus also is a fast moving planet.
Mm-hmm.
So on all charts, if you see, you would the transits that give you impact on a chart are Jupiter and Saturn, and Rahu and Ketu, obviously, because they are just two parts of the same coin, right? And coming to
Cancer.
the sign of Cancer, these people are, they have Mercury on the ascendant, so it's time to wear the thinking cap. And they are, this is a time when these people will uh, be at their best when it comes to using the capabilities of their mind, because Mercury will make you think and will give you the intelligence. Mercury is Akash Tattva, first house is Akash. Akash is the sky. So Mercury and Jupiter, they perform best when they are in the ascendant. So you have it here on the ascendant, either by moon chart or ascendant chart. So this is a good time for you to wear the thinking cap, taking up a course here and there, learning something, or just knowing yourself better and your position, where you are, where you want to be, how to get there. Overall planning, this is a good thing. There are issues with relationship with Sun and Ketu in the second house. When I say relationships, this is basically relationship with the family, the extended family, and it could also mean the relationship with the wife. This is also a period when you could have dental issues, some gum bleeding gums kind of issue, or some operation or little surgeries with your dentures, or one teeth, or one tooth, or some teeth here and there. And this is also Sun Ketu will also give will also make you eat stuff which is not good for you,
Mm.
like the meats and the drinks or things that are not good for you. So one needs to be careful there. Mars in the third, this is good because you get more courageous. Mars improves your courage. You actually take action on a lot of information that you're already sitting on, and this is not great with for relationship with siblings. There could be some arguments, so one has to be careful. Saturn in the Bhagyasthana or the ninth house for Cancer people, this is going to increase the this is going to increase your interest in religion, or if someone's not religious or not inclined towards religion or spirituality, then this is going to increase their interest in history or going back to studying their own lineage, or their own country's history, or their own culture and where they came from, and those kind of things. I'm sorry, I forgot Rahu. With Rahu, this is a time when you basically um, start digging for the truth, and you start groping in the dark to find things out. This could be, and eighth house is a very vast kind of a plane to deal with. But Rahu in the eighth gives some kind of fears, uncertainties, but this is a great time to learn foreign languages, travel to a foreign land, and also invest in research rather in esoteric subjects like astrology or occult, or even cryptocurrencies. If you want to start investing in them, this is a good time to learn about them. Venus and Jupiter in the 12th, this is a period when you will spend money. This is also a time when you do a part-time course somewhere, a long distance course, and those kind of things. So this is a good period for people with Cancer Moon or Ascendant to actually travel abroad for education, or to come in contact with or to find love or some kind of positive relationship in a foreign land, because Venus and Jupiter energy is playing out.
Oh,
Next week,
Virgo.
Leo actually.
Oh, sorry. Yes. I'm
Yeah,
jumping the gun.
yeah. So next we move on to Leo, and what Leo is going to do, what Sun and Ketu are going to do on Leo is that this is so Ketu has been in Leo for almost 3 months now, 4 months, because Ketu I think moved in April, when Rahu and Ketu axis. So Sun Ketu in Leo, this is a time to be more spiritual, and this is all spiritual ascension, and this is also a time for people to find out questions, answers to the questions they've had for a long time. All of a sudden, the ideas that they were working on, they will now have the information from somewhere to work on it, or they will meet the right kind of people, who will help them with the solution. This is also a period when a lot of secrets come out. So this is a thing whenever Sun comes over your moon, transiting Sun, whenever it comes on a natal moon or whenever it comes on a natal ascendant, Sun will always give you it will bring some hidden secret in front of you, which is good for you, because you were in dark, you did not know about it, there was ignorance. This could be about yourself, your family, it could be about your work, it could also be just light on some of the issues that you were thinking and you did not know where to look, and Sun kind of just shows you the torch that that's where the answer is.
Right.
Mars in the second house, eating disorders. This can bring eating disorders. Again, your energy will, there is a lot of negative kind of impact on what you eat and what it will be difficult for people with eating disorders to find it difficult to control what they eat. Rahu in this seventh, all of a sudden, all other women or all other men, apart from your spouses, start looking beautiful to you. You are interested in it. You just want to be with other people. Your that old friend from the foreign land is now contacting you, and they want to be, you are recalling your sweet memories with them that you had earlier. Those kind of Rahu things where either the person up, it's not about your wife or husband, but someone else comes into your life. You are drawn towards them. This is a very tricky period for all Leo, Moon, and Ascendant people. You need to be careful because this can, heal and hurt both. So just be careful of what you choose to do. Saturn in the eighth from the moon or ascendant, this is not a great period. This makes you work very hard, but that's in fact an opportunity because in this day and world, this day and age, you whenever you work hard, so you also get rewarded. So yes, you will feel that you're just too busy. You don't have the free time for life, family, love. But look at it this way that there are so many unemployed people, everyone's screaming on the TV and news shows and everything that there is unemployment and you still have work to do. So please do it and make more money for yourself so that someday you can enjoy that. This is also a good time to get some house constructed or, come in contact with laborers, because eighth house is, eighth house is death of your energies. So dealing with laborers, dealing with the bricklayers, those kind of things, going to places that are smelly like a construction site. And so what happens is that when you do those kind of things, Saturn emotionally keeps you well, but physically you are in Saturnine kind of locations and you're dealing with people who are, because Saturn rules all the lower, working groups like laborers and, all these construction sites and those kind of things are ruled by Saturn. So, so that's the thing with Saturn. Venus and Jupiter in the 11th, again, this is great for fulfillment of your wishes. You are always going, this is a good time for you to fulfill the wishes that you've had from earlier, to fructify those wishes. And also, this is a good time when you meet great people as far as social circles or friendships are concerned. And it's also good for your bank balance. And it's also a great time to ask for a raise, or in fact, to get a raise, with arrears. So, and Mercury in the 12th, again, this is, I would say, spirituality, thinking about communication with the people in foreign lands and those kind of things. Mercury in the 12th house is also, can also be, uh, because Mercury is your thoughts, and in the 12th house, your thoughts could be um, your thoughts could be either wasted or invested. So creativity is wasting your thoughts on, when you're thinking about, when you're creating something, when you are imagining something, it can either be a wastage of daydreaming or it could be creating something in your mind. So this is a time for people to either, you know imagine and create something, or and then later manifest it, or just daydream and think about other places and other realms, which is what 12th house is. Coming to the next ascendant, do you have any questions until now, Firoza?
No, no, no. You're good. You're good. Thank you.
Okay. So coming to the next ascendant, I think, with respect to Mars sitting in Virgo, this is a good period for them. They get more active, there's more action. They start working hard. All of a sudden, the gym membership that they had, they've started using it. They are reaching work on time. They are working more than they were earlier. That kind of effect comes when Mars comes here. And they exactly opposite that is Saturn in the seventh. So what is happening is that their focus is more on themselves rather than the seventh house, which is their opposition, which could be the spouse or which could also be their public image and things like that. So they are basically more onto themselves. The idea is to work more on yourself. And when I say yourself, as in your physicality and your work, whatever work you do. For a student, for example, if this is a student, they will obviously be working harder to to achieve more or to finish more subjects in a certain given time. Rahu, I'm sorry, in the sixth house is dealing with government paperwork. Again, it's Rahu in the sixth is picking up fights here and there. So please avoid kind of sending legal notices to anyone. If someone has sent you a legal notice, try to resolve that without being too aggressive, because Rahu in the sixth kind of brings issues related to diseases or law and order, or your enemies. And especially because it's Rahu, it's hidden enemies. So just be careful of whom you're dealing with. Take Don't take everyone on face value. Just be very vigilant of how and what whatever people are saying, what do they really mean, and those kind of things. And this is, if there is a long going pending legal matter, this is a good time to resolve it. You will get enough opportunities, and you will also create enough opportunities to actually go out there and do something about it, rather than just sitting on, taking a back foot and not doing anything. So this is the time to come on front foot and face the matter, and be more proactive and approach the lawyers and finish the matter for once. And you have enough time to do that. Actually, you have time until next October or September. When I say next, I mean next 2026. Saturn, we've already covered. Saturn the seventh is, there is Saturn transiting seventh from your moon or ascendant. When I said Saturn over your moon will give you relationship issues, Saturn transiting your seventh, it kind of makes a relationship dry. Saturn doesn't allow you to get juice out of a relationship. Not that you hate your spouse, you don't want to leave them, spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend, but it's just that it's very dry, and you like, okay, and you're focusing, as I said, Mars is on the ascendant, and there is so much happening in the sixth house, everything else. So you're just very indifferent towards your partners, and also your public image. You're not too worried. You don't want to meet more people, things like that, because that's contraction. Obviously, Saturn retrograde and direct will also affect the whole thing. But yeah, I mean, Saturn is here to stay until end of 2027 almost. So yeah, that's how it will play. Your relationships will dry up a little, and you'll basically, wherever Saturn goes, you need to work a little harder for that thing to fructify. So just work hard on your relationships and your public image, do all possible.
And Jupiter, Venus in your 10th.
Jupiter Venus on the 10th is a great thing, because this is rewards and recognition, long pending, and this is also it gives you, a lot of people start looking at you as someone who's made it, so you might be just 25, but for others who are 25, or others in your own age group, there will be a lot of people where your hard work shines, and you start getting recognition. And if you are someone who's 40, people now look at you as someone who's established. If you are in your 60s, now people want to come to you, and you sit on a throne, and people are going to come to you and ask for your advice. And so that's what Jupiter in the 10th does. And Venus, with a quick flyby, kind of adds up to the whole sweetness of Jupiter being in the 10th. Venus and Jupiter, however, themselves, they are not very friendly planets, but they are both benefics. So whenever benefic transits at the 10th house, there will be a certain period when there is planetary war going on, or when they are very close to each other, but there is no harm there. It's like two pluses,
Right.
right? And Mercury in the 11th will give you better communication with friends and social circles. So this is a good time to reach out to any social organization that you've been involved with. This is also good. Mercury's over here is also good um, to to think about how do I fulfill my uh, my desires. How do I get there? So this is a good um, kind of place to do whatever you thought when Mercury was in your third house. So this is a right time to kind of just finish and seal the deal and get benefits of what you were thinking,
Great.
right?
Yeah.
And Sun and Ketu, this is a very spiritual placement in the 12th house. In fact, with so much of hate in the 12th, this is the right kind of place. So either these they will spend more money on on different things, especially things related to the government, like taxes and those kind of things. This is a good time to connect with the government, get a government order. I mean, when I say order, I mean contract. Also, if someone's applying for a government job, this is a good time for all Virgo ascendant people and Virgo moon people, because Sun in the 12th house will allow you to spend your energy, spend yourself towards the government. So this is a good time to get government contracts. On a natal chart, whenever I've seen in so many charts, whenever Sun sits in the 12th house, these people, they always have some relationship, work relationship with the government.
Mm.
Either they are government employees or government contractors. And many a times it's directly with the government and very senior positions I've seen. Um, I'm sorry. Coming to the next
Libra.
ascendant, we come to Libra. And for Libra, Rahu falls in the fifth house. So, not a great time for students because Rahu will kind of disrupt your um, will your focus will be wavering. You'll have a wavering kind of focus towards studies, and but great for people who are into creation because Rahu will make you uh, will improve your creativity. Your creative side will shine. Rahu in the fifth is also this is a good time to let your children disconnect from you. You know how parents are overprotective of their children. This is a good time to let your child be on their own. Maybe give them a different room. If they're in the same house, maybe they can move out. It's okay to let them go because there will be some kind of distance with children, either emotional or on a physical level, spatial level. Saturn in the sixth, be aware of infections here and there, like uh, flu or some infection in a ear or nose or something like that, or the eye. Saturn generally in the sixth brings infections and those kind of things. Saturn in the sixth also is a very good placement for people who are studying law or who want to be police. Um, or in the anyone in the uniform, basically the armed forces, especially the law and order careers. Saturn in the sixth is very good, so it's a good time to pursue that or work towards that. Or if you're already in that, so this is a good time to finish your course and get better placements. For people who are not into law and order studies, this is a period when you focus more on animals and people who are the labor class people who are daily wages, spend time with them, be nice to them, those kind of things, your maids and stuff, because they are the ones governed by Saturn. And Saturn coming to sixth kind of tells you that, hey, listen, you're supposed to take care of them. you're supposed to be nice to them. Obviously, there are repercussions if you don't do that. But Saturn coming here automatically, if you are aligned with if you're a normal human being, Saturn coming here, you will kind of get into a zone where you will be more caring for these kind of people. And this also means pets.
Right.
All right. And Venus Jupiter in the Bhagyasthana, which is your luck and your when Jupiter and Venus come here,
Ninth house.
ninth house, this is a great time to get to establish relationships with foreign entities. This is also a great time to find a guru, someone who can give you the knowledge which the universities and your daily routine life hasn't been able to give you. So you might come in contact with a guru. You might come in contact with people abroad who you might you might just learn from them. They might not be your gurus. They could be normal people from routine walks of life, but you would learn from them. Um, Venus and Jupiter, Jupiter especially in the ninth house, also brings you closer to doing the right things, because Jupiter is now trying with the ascendant and the fifth house. So you kind of come closer to your dharma. You find yourself doing the right things. You are very virtuous. You can differentiate easily between the good and the bad, the good karma, bad karma, and those kind of things. And you get very religious, of course. Coming to Mercury in the 10th house, this is great for careers. Mercury in the 10th house will you'll be more proactive, and you'll be more uh, effective with whatever knowledge and skill basis you have. You will be able to implement them better at work. And you will also get recognition because it's a benefic planet. Mercury is tricky sometimes when it's combust, or when it has aspect from a malefic planet. But right now, Mercury is kind of harmless. So this is a good placement for careers. This for careers and recognition. Ketu and Sun, this is not a great period for people, with Libra Moon or Libra Ascendant, because they will find themselves kind of cutting off from their social circles. They might find themselves, having an argument or heated discussions with the friends or social circles. Or the other interpretation could be that they might meet people who are spiritual. They might come across people who are spiritual, or they might enter new groups, discussion groups where there are more spiritual people. So this is an opportunity if you're looking forward to, knock doors of spirituality. Then this is a good period. Go and find out more discussion groups or people like that, and you will be, you can come close to them because you have enough support from the universe. Mars in the 12th, this is you'll spend more money. The first thing that comes to my mind. And this also means foreign travel, or some work for a foreign entity, so you get some for people who are doing remote jobs in IT. They could get orders, or export orders, import orders, those kind of things. And Mars in the 12th is basically your focus is more on um, expenditure, investments related to land and property. And Mars in 12th is also, it's funny, but Mars in 12th in natal chart is, these people are fond of physical intimacy, and so whenever Mars goes to your 12th house, you feel more, you want to make more love, it's basically um, the bedroom pleasures, as I said, right? So that's what Mars gives you here. And now we move on to the next ascendant, which is Scorpio. For Scorpio people, there are like two, three tricky things what is that are happening right now. Even though Saturn is not kind of affecting their moon, I mean, it's not affecting their, it's not, sorry, I'm sorry, even if Saturn is not kind of, they are not under the Sadhe Sati, but what is happening is that they have Rahu in the fourth, they have Saturn in the fifth, they have Venus and Jupiter in the eighth, and they have Saturn aspecting their moon. The seventh house. Moon. So it's not just about the moon because moon will change, right, in a matter of few minutes. But Saturn aspecting the seventh house will again give the same impact of what I was talking about. People who had Virgo ascendant, because things will dry up with respect to relationship. And fifth house is also your, romance and, everything that makes you happy, children and all that. So this is for, I think for Scorpio people, they're going to find this period a little, um, I don't know, let's just say bad. I mean, I really can't say good, but there's that. I really can't say
Challenging may be the better word.
challenging is a better word, yeah. I'm sorry, please excuse my vocabulary, but yes. Challenging is a better word because they might find questions being thrown on them with respect to their homes. Where am I living? Is this the right place? Um, Also, some irritation with respect to relationship, romance and those kind of entertainment. Whatever fifth house is, children. So you find yourself dissatisfied there. Jupiter in the eighth, especially, it gives you lots of expenditure. And Jupiter from here is aspecting the fourth house, where Rahu is already seated. So there is definitely a change of house or change of city or change of country on cards for them. See, if they have been contemplating or thinking about moving to a different place, this is the right time. If you're already thinking that, am I should I take that job but it's in a different city, or should I move to that different house which is 3 lanes down the road? Please do it. You are feeling it because you are aligned with your chart and your chart is screaming that you should make this change. So, because Rahu here and Jupiter here, so yes, you will spend some money on relocation. You will spend money on foreign travel, long distance foreign travel. It's not like from US to Mexico. This means like from US to Asia or Europe or something like that. It's far and more expensive and those kind of things. Venus in the eighth, not good for relationships, but more desires and more desires that are dark desires. On a physical level, you feel more urges to make love to others, to your partners and all. But uh, Venus in the eighth, yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, but Venus in the eighth is, it's the desire that you get, the moment you fulfill it, you are sorry about it. You're wondering why did you do it. That's the Venus in the eighth kind of energy, and Venus in the 12th too, I mean. So so yeah, for Scorpio, I can say yes, it's a mixed bag. And the Ketu and Sun in the 10th house, again, Sun is going to move on next month or so, about 15th of September, around that time, into a different sign, which is Virgo. But Ketu remains here until middle of next year, maybe more than that. I think September or October next year. But so Ketu in the 10th is going to give you dissatisfaction at work. You're going to be frustrated and those kind of things. Maybe you quit job and you look for other jobs. You know, Mars in the 11th house is good because it's a Upache house, and malefics do well in Upache houses. So over here, Mars gives you gains, and Mars makes you work harder to fulfill your desires and to make more money. So that's with Scorpio. And
Chariot.
coming next to Sagittarius. Um, So for Sagittarius, Saturn is in the fourth house. Rahu is in the third. So obviously there are more travels. every now and then. There is um, your communication improves, expands actually, rather than I mean, improving is not the right word, but your horizons with respect to communication expand. So all the people that you wanted to talk to make it possible to meet your goals, you actually do all that. You meet the right kind of people, you put in a word, they reply back to you, things do happen, especially people in foreign lands. You will reach out to them and you will get positive results from there. Rahu will support you with that kind of communication here. Saturn in the fourth, it repairs at home. All of a sudden, you start seeing the cracks here and there. All of a sudden, there's water droplets coming out of the ceiling in the bathroom. Some pipe somewhere is something is going wrong at the in your home or premise, and you want to fix it. And again, it has a similar kind of effect when Saturn is in the eighth house because it's the same tricon, the trine. So, dealing with laborers, spending money on repairs, um, standing, being going to places where there is repair work going on, factories, furnaces, those kind of things, where there are laborers working. Mother's health could be an issue. So those kind of things need to be taken care. Saturn in Pisces is also a great place for someone to go and see a therapist if they want to talk to someone about their mental well-being, because Saturn here will bring a correction and will try to give you some insight on your own psyche, how you can how you can improve your mental health. So for Sagittarius, Moon or Ascendant, this is a good time to go and seek, um,
Help.
advice on mental health and, get better at that. Ketu in the Bhagyasthana, I wouldn't say I wouldn't say it's bad. It's kind of good because you get more spiritual over here. And Ketu also gives you the opportunity to, I mean, as far as spirituality is concerned, it gives you an opportunity to connect with gurus who are spiritual in nature. Ketu in the ninth house is a little problematic because it won't allow you to fulfill, to, I can't say fulfill, but it's about, you know, out of 10 times, if you feel that you are lucky 8 times, with Ketu in the ninth, that number drops from 8 to number 5 or 6. So luck doesn't favor all the time. So more hard work is required, since Ketu sits here. But again, a good remedy for that is that if you are more spiritual, if you are more religious, and you go to the temple or the mosque or the church more, you can kind of um, make peace with this placement of Ketu in the ninth house. Mars in the 10th house is great for career. It gives you work harder and you get more recognition. Mars, because again, 10th house is also an Upacha house. Mars in the 10th also um, brings you opportunity. Mars in the 10th also brings you growth and makes you very hardworking and brings quick results with respect to your recognition and rewards. So that's for Sagittarius. The next Rashi that we pick up is
Capricorn.
Capricorn. Sorry. Yeah. So for Capricorn people, so as we, oh, sorry, the date, I've changed the date, but it's today. Yeah. Okay. So for Capricorn people, Rahu is sitting in the second house. So some issues with um, extended family, but great for having making money from foreign lands, or having or investing in property in foreign lands. And Rahu in the second is also great for reaching out or solving problems with respect to relatives who are in a foreign land. Reaching out to relatives over there and helping them or seeking help from them. Saturn in the third is a, because third house is also Upacha house, and Saturn in third is a decent placement. This gives a constant. There are issues with communication with Saturn in the third, but your communication remains, it's not very flamboyant, it remains effective. It remains a little less than what it should be, but you're still very steady and effective in your communication. And Saturn makes you work hard whenever it transits third. Obviously, you don't like it, but you will have to work hard. And the results will come, of course. I'm sorry, sticking to a routine will be good if you have Saturn in the third house. I mean, for all Capricorn people, because for next 2 years almost, 1.5 years, quarter to 2 years, they do have Saturn third from their moon or ascendant. And then comes Jupiter and Venus in the sixth. Now, this is a period when Capricorn people should be a little aware about their health, especially people who are pre-diabetic or have issues with their weight, because Jupiter in the sixth gives you um, can give you increased blood sugar levels and cholesterol levels and those kind of things. So, I'm sorry. So please be careful about that. And Jupiter over here also, in a way, is good because uh, this is a good placement for people who want to learn astrology or work towards being more spiritual. Because and in fact, that's a remedy, that if you start learning astrology, maybe Jupiter wouldn't bother you much with any legal issue or health issue. So for all people who have Jupiter in the sixth on the chart, or currently through transits, it's a good time to learn astrology, or practice spirituality, or some kind of duties towards religion, basically, or from whatever religion you come in. Mercury in the seventh is going to give you more insight on, basically making it up to your spouse, making it up to your public image, because seventh house is a public image. Mercury transiting will also give you business ideas, because seventh house is seventh house is also about your business. Because your business is basically you, and then there is this entire population which is the consumer. So your public image is also business. So this is a good time to think about a new business, start a new business, or at least plan one, and then wait for the right placement or the time to actually implement it. But and yeah, this is a good time for thinking, deep thinking, and I'm sorry, I'm missing that word, planning actually, about how do I go about starting a new business of my own. In terms of relationship, this is a good placement for you to, think about how exactly can I make things better between me and my spouse, boyfriend or girlfriend or partner. So that's what Mercury does here. Sun and Ketu in the eighth. This is going to give you some issues uh, related to heat in the lower part of your body. It's going so drinking more water is really necessary for these people. And this is also a time when Ketu in the eighth, Jupiter in the sixth. So again, learning spirituality or some esoteric subject or occult, or something like that.
Would be good.
This is the good time to do that. Um, Sun in the eighth, well, it's just entered here and it's going to be here for a month. So for a month, you will have to go, Capricorn ascendant and moon people will have to, they will find it a little difficult with respect to their health, or their mental well-being. They will feel a little irritated, agitated, and a little challenging time, right? Mars in the ninth house. Mars would these people will get a little active with with issues related to foreign lands, and they could also be doing extra service to their gurus, like helping gurus with their needs, going out of the way and helping their gurus and those kind of things. Mars in the ninth house will also, um, because it's your fourth house lord sitting in the ninth, so it will also make you, and Mars is aspecting, the eighth aspect of Mars is basically on the fourth house. So this is also a placement where you um, think more about the place you live with or your mother, or try to fix things related to your fourth house. The actions go towards those kind of things where you want to fix the physicality of your house, or making it a better place to live, like physically or on an emotional level, feeling more, how do I feel more connected to my physical space around. So changing colors here and there, or looking at the brighter side of, when I say brighter side, the positive side of the house, rather than just criticizing what's wrong in my house and those kind of things. So that's for Capricorn. The next one that we're going to talk about is
Aquarius.
Aquarius. So Rahu is right there on their ascendant. This is a time when these people are going to be very, very careful of how I'm looking. They are going to be very, very conscious about it. They're going to work on it. They will, the t-shirt that they would wear otherwise and just go and go for shopping, now they're going to wear that, uh, the other good one, the nice t-shirt, or they're going to dress well wherever they go, because they are now obsessed about themselves. Obsessed could be a very strong word to use, but they are more careful or more aware. There's more self-awareness about how I look. And similarly, Ketu in the seventh, this is a tough period for all of Aquarians with respect to relationships. Please don't expect that your love life is going to be normal. If you are single, you're going to remain single, and there's more work in progress. It's more WIP kind of situation. You need to put in more efforts, and don't be disheartened. Don't blame yourself if you can't find that right person, boy or a girl or whosoever, because just give yourself some time. By next year, you will definitely find someone interesting, because Ketu energy over here is going to kind of make things challenging for you. Um, they have Saturn in the second house. Um, they could be very manipulative in their communication. A relationship with family could suffer. And obviously, that some eating disorders could kick in, things that are not good for you might eat that. Jupiter and Venus in the fifth is lovely. Um, Especially Jupiter sitting here is in the trikon with your Bhagyasthana, the luck, your luck and your self. So Jupiter has aspect over here in the ninth house and the ascendants. So this is one more reason why these people will be, very self-aware, and they will educate themselves to become the right kind of person. Physically how they look and how they think, both ways. They'll be very aware of how other people are going to perceive me. So let me just update my skills, with interpersonal skills, that is. And Jupiter in the fifth gives you, this is a good time to be fathers and mothers and parents. This is a good time to get love from children. This is a great time for creativity. If you're looking for the career in creation and you're tired of whatever you were doing, this is a good time to enter that. Start learning, finding the right teacher, and start learning about creation, whatever it's performing arts or any kind of art. Um, Venus over here is great for romance. This is the right time, but there is also an issue with Ketu being here already. So, but Ketu is kind of heavier of the two energies because Ketu is here for a longer time, and Venus is going to move out in a few days. So, it will be interesting when Venus comes here in the first week of October that we discussed, because A, they already have a problem with relationship, and B, then Venus comes there. So there is that could mean that there is a short-term fling with someone, and then it doesn't work out. You are hopeful, or whatever is there. If there is someone that you love who is away from you, they might come to you for a short time and then they go back again. You think that it's going to work out, but it doesn't work out. Those kind of things. Mercury in the sixth is uh, Mercury in the sixth is a placement where it's more or less what Rahu does in the sixth house, is about thinking about enemies, picking up fights and all that. Your thoughts go towards I'll give it back to him. I'll give it back to her. How can she do that to me? Those kind of things. So please refrain from thinking about on those lines, and try to find amicable solutions to any arguments that you might have. Mercury in the sixth also could give you issues with your nerves. So if you are someone who has issues with the nervous system, this is a good time to go and get yourself checked. And Mercury in the sixth will kind of bring the problem out. It will, because uh, you're going to spend more. You're going to give that part of your life more attention. So Mercury will bring the problem out, and you will be able to solve that problem. Sun and Ketu we've already discussed. We have Mars in the eighth. There is more, there is intense energy playing out. Having discussed Venus in the fifth and Ketu here, but the body, the physical body, it needs more pleasures, sex. And Mars in the eighth gives you a lot of sexual energy. And Ketu over here denies success in relationships. So this could be a little challenging and frustrating. What is also happening for these people is that uh, they, for especially Moon in Aquarius, that Saturn is in the second house. So they are in the last phase of their Sadhe Sati, which is still, they're going to remain it's going to remain like that for almost 2 years, 2 more years. So, um, so Mars is a quick moving planet. Anyways, it's going to move out and come over here. Go to the next sign. But currently, as we speak, this is a little frustrating time for them because they feel physically they have urges to be pleasured, but they are not in a relationship. Things are not going right for them. But from all of that thing, I can just the only positive thing about them is that they are self-aware of how they look and how they are in terms of physicality and their inner self. And this is a good time to work on yourself because Jupiter is supporting you. So love and luck will come. Please focus on yourself. Is the way out. And the next and the last sign that we're going to talk about is Pisces. Saturn is right on the moon or the ascendant, so this is a tough time for you. There's a lot of negativity around you. The same phone that I've been using for last say 6 months, I loved it, but all of a sudden this is what happens when Saturn comes on your ascendant now. All of a sudden you start don't like you stop liking it, and you start finding faults in it because now you're just looking at the negative aspects of it. Obviously there would be something that is not good in it, but it's um, it's also a time when you are not at your creative best. It's also a time when your decision making is very poor. It's a time when you are, as I said earlier, Saturn will make you commit mistakes, and then it will teach you a lesson. So this is a time for correction, like how a stock would just keep going up, 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 up without, for no reason or rhyme, it just keeps going up. We all know that it's going to come down. So this is a period for Pisces moon and Pisces, especially Pisces moon. This is a period where they will find um, a correction in their life. The inflow of money, inflow of relationships, a nice thing, the good things of life, they are a little less. Materialistic growth, however, can keep going on. I mean, you could maybe move into a bigger house or buy a new car and all that would go, but the juice of life is missing. You might not enjoy that new house as much as you would have otherwise. Um, Jupiter and Venus in the fourth, this is nice. This makes them happy, gives all the love and affection and care from everyone who is like a mother, like motherly figures, mother herself, and others who take care of you. This is this is also an indication that whatever is happening with your moon, going back to or communicating or reaching out to people who are like mother for you. For it could be your elder sister, it could be your husband, it could be your brother, it could be anyone, it could be that friend, down the road. So anyone who cares for you, it's time to go to them, and they are going to be very protective of you, and they will take care of you. This is that kind of a period for them. Um, Mercury again, creativity, and this is good for creation. This is good for um, education. Mercury in the fifth will make you will give you inclination to learn more. Um, will give you inclination to communicate in a very different way with your children and also your employees. Um, uh, Subordinates. Sun and Ketu in the sixth, again, be aware of um, infections and stuff due to heat. It could be due to digestive issues. Also, Sun and Ketu, if someone is interested in astrology, this is a good time to start learning astrology. There are two reasons why. One more reason I forgot to tell you is that when Saturn transits Moon, whatever effects Saturn has on you, on your mind, I have seen that in so many people, and I also have experienced it myself, that when you learn astrology, when you start focusing on learning some subject like anything that is occult, like for example astrology, you Saturn is kind of then Saturn leaves you alone. It doesn't bother you much then. You know, your other issues of life are then kind of they subside. It's not that much of a problem. So, and with Ketu energy in the sixth for more than a year, Saturn year for more than a year, this is absolutely a great time for all Pisceans to go out and learn a little bit of astrology. You don't have to become an astrologer, but for learn enough astrology that henceforth for the entire life you can look at your chart every now and then and see what are the transits coming, what are the periods coming, anything good happening, this that. And I think it should be in elementary school. I mean, uh, not necessarily everyone should learn Vedic. I respect all cultures, so people in the US or the West can learn the Western astrology that they practice. There is Chinese astrology, there is Arabic, there is just Asian, there's so many other forms of it. Everyone should learn because that's how uh, that's that's our relationship with the universe, with the cosmos. So, especially for Pisces, this is a very good period for them to take up astrology. That's my bit.
Thank you so much for this amazingly informative um, share. I'm sure many of our viewers will definitely enjoy and learn something. Thanks again, Abijit, for taking the time to talk to me. And thank you for all this wonderful information. Um, Satnam, thank you. And for our viewers, thank you so much for being with us here, Coffee with the Kingpins. And please join us again and kindly share. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe. That's really, really important. And as I mentioned before, if you have certain interests, subjects that you would like me to cover, it would be my pleasure. Please just share in the comments. Thanks again, and thank you, Abijit. Have a lovely Sunday morning.